Hi, I'm Jim Sheldon, the former Executive Director of the NSCAA. I'm a product of the old North American Soccer League. Actually, it's forerunner, the National Professional Soccer League. The hometown I grew up in, Williamstown, Massachusetts, did not have youth soccer program, had a high school program, and Williams College is located there, so I knew soccer existed, but never had the opportunity to play. And then one summer in 1967, I turned on the TV, and there's the Baltimore Bays playing the Oakland Clippers. And all these guys from Yugoslavia and Spain and Holland, and I was intrigued by that. And then just the sport itself, the freedom that it gives the players, the lack of timeouts, limited substitutions. I thought this is really a player's game. And I took my basketball out in the driveway and started kicking it off the garage door. I was working for the NCAA, and soccer was one of the championships that I was responsible for. Men's soccer, all three divisions. So I would go to the NSCAA convention to speak to the coaches about legislation and that type of thing, which still goes on today as far as I know. So that was really my first introduction to the NSCAA. And my love of the game kept me interested in soccer. I had left NCAA to go to work for the Goodwill Games, the organizing committee in Seattle, for the 1990 Goodwill Games. And when the games ended, I was out of a job. And that was at the point where the NSCAA decided it was time for a full-time executive director. I applied for the job, and really a fortunate break for me. The executive committee and the board set 5-year plans. Now, those weren't in place when I first started, but the organization was smaller then. So I can't say that I had a template until we actually started doing 5-year plans, but things naturally progressed to the point where the budget expands, you need more people, and that type of thing, and kind of went with the growth of the association. John McKeon, my predecessor, was part-time executive director, and he was running the association out of his basement in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. John, wonderful man, and I spent about 2 days in his home after I took the job, and he went through his files, the database, in preparation for the move here to Kansas City, where the executive committee had allowed me to relocate the office. And money was set aside to do that, and when that fund reached the point where we had enough to purchase a building, that's the direction we headed. Probably the most difficult period was when Umbro, which had been bought by some Americans, went out of business in the late 1990s, and they were our major sponsor, a huge part of our budget, and that put us in quite a bit of difficulty. And navigating the way out of that, getting Adidas on board to sponsor the association was a major step. Obviously, purchasing a building, hiring the director of coaching on a full-time basis, incorporating the old Intercollegiate Soccer Association of America was another, I think, pretty major accomplishment. And getting college soccer on TV, I think, was another significant step. As the association grew, I think when I started as executive director, there were about 8,500 members. And as we grew over 15,000 and eventually over 20,000, it was clear to me and eventually the executive committee that the whole geographical representation wasn't germane to the way the demographics of the association had grown, and that we needed constituents on the youth, high school, college and professional level. It afforded me the opportunity to combine an avocation with a vocation, having fallen in love with the game and then getting to be involved with it as a job was ideal from my standpoint. Beyond that, it was just the opportunity to get to know, work with, and meet so many wonderful people in this sport. Those are relationships and friendships that I'm sure I wouldn't have the opportunity to get if I hadn't worked for the NSCAA.